This is Thomas Berryman, and you're watching the Break It Down show.
Hey man, thanks for coming on the show. I dig it that we get to do these things. You and I, distance-wise by time, we live a long way away from each other. You know, it's tomorrow where you're at, or it's yesterday from your point of view, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It's crazy. What's the closest, not on Australia, what's the closest big city to where you live? That's not in Australia.
That's not in Australia.
Yeah,
I think it's in Asia. It'd be like Bali, or that's the quickest place from
Jakarta
where I am,
or something like that.
Yeah, I think it's Jakarta. But that would be the quickest place. It's quicker to get there than the other side of the country.
From your house to Bali?
About 5 hours, 6. They used to do direct flights, but now we got to fly to Perth. So it ends up being an 8-hour trip. But when we go direct from here, it's pretty close.
That's crazy. I mean, you think about in general. So if I was to take a 5-hour flight here in the States, I could go from San Diego to Maine. That's like 3,500 miles, maybe more, probably more, right? And so 5 hours is a long flight. And then you add the three-hour leg on there. You guys are far from stuff.
Yeah, it's we're far from everything, and so when I go on holidays, I want to go for I usually go for a long period. Just like got time to look at everything.
How does that change your view of the world when you are so far? I mean, not only are you far from the world, you're far in Australian terms too. Like, you're nowhere near Perth. You were just saying it's 18-hour drive. An 18-hour drive, man, I could drive from Moscow to like Berlin, and be there and like, man, when's Tom gonna get here? It'd be like days.
No, it does put things into perspective, and especially even like say we want to buy stuff, it's a lot more expensive where I am because we're so far away from everyone. But if we do go to Perth on an 18-hour trip, there's so many incredible sites like in the outback and to see. So you sort of break it up like that, but you are isolated.
So in effect, like, you live on an island. Like, it's got to be comparable to somewhere even not even on the main island in Tahiti, like one of the secondary islands, because you got to get to Tahiti and then you got to get to you.
That's exactly right. So it's quite. It can be the closest place, like we said, is Asia. So it's pretty exciting. We go there a bit, me and the family. It's actually cheaper to go overseas than around Australia.
Is that right?
Huh. Yeah, it's cheaper for us to fly overseas than it is to the other side of the country.
Yeah, what's the flight from Perth to Sydney or Perth to Queensland or any of those places?
That's like a 6-hour flight, 5 to 6 hours.
Longer?
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys. So what kind of people want to live that far from everything?
It's for, I'd say, work. There's a lot of work here. We got one of the busiest export port in the world. So for shipping iron ore, cattle, salt, iron ore, salt, cattle, and just lots of resources leave that port. It's just a 24-hour operation. Of constantly see big ships coming through the harbour.
Yeah. It's fascinating when you look at that whole world. I know some people in shipping and the expertise that goes into these things. We just are completely, in America, we're completely oblivious to what it takes to move things and how great the world is at shipping things. You can put a horse on a ship and get it to somewhere and it'll reliably get there. It doesn't sink and everything, and so around a port, there's all kinds of other things that support the port. Here in Southern California, LA, we have whole yards of just shipping containers. Some are done being shipping containers, are going to be turned into scrap. Some are repairable. And so there'll be yards of like people just welding and fixing shipping containers or building new ones or cannibalize, there's just whole boneyards of shipping containers. And then you have the trucks blowing out tires, blowing out transmissions. Someone's like, I'll rebuild transmissions for you guys. And they make their entire world in this little nook within the nook of shipping. They'll have a whole world of just rebuilding Peterbilt transmissions or whatever it's going to be.
Yeah, it's incredible how much work goes into it and just how big it is.
Yeah.
Like here, it's like I said, where this little town is the biggest, like the busiest shipping hub in the world for exports.
It's surprising to hear that, right? Because you would think the volume,
Yeah.
like Port of LA or something that happens up in northern Germany or something, would be bigger. But you guys are there.
Yeah.
Why? What is it about your guys' port? Were you guys better at marketing it? Are you guys just in a sweet spot location wise where it just makes sense to have a port? So you guys became that place. How did that happen?
I think, and a lot of resources here. So a lot of it goes to China, especially the iron ore. So that's just constant. Yeah, there's 3 major companies. The town's only got about 15,000 people.
Jeez.
And it's just non-stop. Ships going and taking iron ore and salt. And there's a few other products, but yeah, mainly iron ore in the town. And it's all just red dirt everywhere. So you never really see me wear white clothes because it just even around town is just red dirt.
Yeah, red dirt. Yeah, that's funny. And the folks who want to get out of there, are they just sick of being there? Where do they go? Like, I got to get to the city. And do they go to Sydney? Do they go to England? Where do they go? Because not everybody wants to be that far from places.
No, so people usually go to Perth in the city. But that's gotten really expensive now. But yeah, a lot of people come over from the eastern states as well, just because there's more work here. I guess it's the highest paid here. You can make more money here, but you also isolated and everything is more expensive here as well. So but I guess the work's really there if you want it. So I think people come here to try and set themselves up and end up, I guess, stuck here or staying.
Is it a good place to get stuck?
I like it because I like the quiet and like a small town. I came from over in a city, and then I thought I wouldn't like it, but now I don't really like going to the city.
Turns out you're a country guy. Are you guys country or rural? What would you guys call yourselves?
Yeah, rural. Like I'd say, like a small sort of rural / country town. And we get a lot of cyclones here too, so
you get a lot of cyclones.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that because of the temperature of the water? Because like on the west coast of the states, we don't get very many cyclones. We get some, but it's rare, you know.
Yeah, usually around this time, and we've been pretty lucky this year so far.
When you what's the difference between West Coast Australians and East Coast Australians?
I feel like West Coast is definitely more isolated, and I'd say there's a lot more money over here, just in terms of work and the resources that are here. But it is more isolated from the rest of the country.
You've mentioned the racehorses several times. Obviously, that's a big thing there. Are you into horse racing yourself? Are you into horse breeding? How closely tied are you to that industry?
I used to like following them and watching them, but I didn't own anything. I like to have a bet and just follow. But I haven't bet for a long time. Now I just I like, I watch the races, especially Melbourne Cup. That comes on once a year. They call it the race that stops the nation. That's huge.
Yeah. And how did because you guys are in the middle of nowhere compared to the rest of the world. Because where you are is somewhere, right? But how did horse racing and breeding of horses become a thing there? I mean, how in the heck did that happen?
Yeah, I think just between all along the northwest region, people were there's horse races from like all the small towns. So it'll be in Broome, then they'll come to Port Hedland. So it's just a thing that I guess keeps all the towns, communities active and linking up with each other. So one year it might be here, the next year it might be in another little town. But yeah,
Right.
we got a racetrack here.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's just yeah, man, it's fascinating. It's a neat place to live, and yet you can
Yep.
transact business with the rest of the world because your time, at least in terms of California, like right now, I don't know,
Yeah.
is it? It's not early there, is it? What time is it?
Midnight. Yeah, 12,
Oh, it's
12
midnight.
a.m. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
All right. I mean, are you used to that? Like, is being up at midnight to do stuff like this normal for you?
Yeah, usually, especially because most of the people I talk to are from America, I'll be up, 3 a.m. I'll
Hmm.
start ones at 3 a.m., 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, usually I'm in bed. Like if normally I'm in bed at 7 o'clock at night because I'll wake up at
Okay.
2:30 for work.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
a couple of
Go ahead.
days off, so
Yeah.
no, it's cool. I just had a couple of days off, so it's all good. Worked out perfect.
I want to put the link up for your YouTube channel. Everybody can go check this thing out. Thomas has his own show. It's called the Thomas Berryman. It's called Thomas Berryman TV, and so he gets all kinds of interesting people. I'm going to put the link up in here. When you let me ask you this from your guys' point of view, you're I don't know. Are you guys northwestern Australia? Is that how you guys call where you're
Yeah,
from, or is it just okay? Because your
northwest.
coast is like here in Southern California, our west coast dips in a way that you orient south when you look out to
Yeah,
the ocean. And you guys
yeah,
do the opposite. You guys orient north, so
yeah.
it's
We're
like a
northwest,
lot
but
of West Africa is oriented to the south in terms of coastline.
yeah,
The funny thing.
yeah. It's definitely you got that right. The coast here is beautiful.
Oh
There's so many incredible things.
yeah, yeah. We have these great coastal towns here in California, especially down south, where it's got Spanish influence. Because like the
Yeah,
Spaniards came, and they set up a mission, and then the little town just kind of grew up along a creek or whatever,
yeah.
because that's what you would do. Is it kind of a similar thing where you just have like a basic formula where like, hey, these places got built kind of the same way because the same rules apply to the towns?
Yeah, especially like the smaller towns, definitely. And yeah, you see that a lot, as you get further north,
Yeah,
especially.
yeah,
But yeah, you see a lot of it's nice. I like it. It's beautiful.
yeah. What this is it's an interesting question because there's a lot of ways to take it. What do Western Australian how do you guys see America? Like, can you define that at all? Is it? I mean, you obviously deal with a lot of Americans because you have them on your show all the time. But how
Yeah.
do how do Western Australians see us?
Um, I would say probably the main things you see would be like the football, American football, and real like Americans. I used to see Americans more. I wouldn't say fanatical, but patriots. Like
Right?
Americans really are passionate about their country. Like I think Australians are too, but not. I don't think on the level that Americans. You see that Americans are fighting for their country or really
Yeah.
embracing it. So I think that would be the biggest way to describe it. Like if you ask someone, they go, "Man, they're crazy over there. They're really into their." Like, it's like they're just all
Yeah.
patriots, or they're crazy. Like, but
Is
in a good way.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah, yeah, we're excited about being Americans for sure. And I
Yeah,
know that our countries are newer, right, in the global
yeah,
scheme of things, and so a lot of us are the second or third or fourth sons who weren't going to inherit anything. They're like, well, fuck you, I'm going west, right, and then
yeah,
ended up where we ended up. And so there's a lot of roustabouts. There's a lot of gadflies. There's a lot of people that have a rambling bone in them, at least here in America, right? And there's
yeah,
plenty of folks that are staid and steady and everything else. But if we have a problem here in America, a lot of us are like, "No, I'm just going to move. I'm going to go set up a new stake. I'm going to go prove up a new claim." Is that a common thing with you guys too?
not so much. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Is that because of the British background, you think, or what do you attribute that to?
I think so. I think it goes back to then. But
yeah.
but now, like times, I'd say now more modern times for work, you see people traveling around.
Yeah.
Like that's more, economy driven, and like people are just following the work wherever it is.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
whereas before, I'd say I could live in my hometown and everyone had the same job since I was a kid. Everything was. It was a city bigger than this, but it was. Someone would be there somewhere for 20 years working, but now, like, I feel like times have changed where everyone's adapting constantly and
Yeah.
constantly moving just for work. And families aren't all together. I remember growing up, you have all your cousins, uncles, and aunties. Like everyone was together. Now we're just spread out across the whole country, just for
Right.
work. Or yeah,
When you look at the Americans, we have this guy named Donald Trump as our president, and we tear ourselves apart about this man. Whether we love him or hate him or somewhere in between, and we cast these big wishes. We're an embarrassment to the world. But I don't think the world gives a fuck for the most part. Do you guys give a fuck who the president of the United States is?
not really, but it's funny you say that because I'd find I'll be a few people who'd be like, "Man, Donald Trump's a dickhead," and then the next group of people will be like, he's the best thing. Like I don't know, it's like 50-50 people,
Okay.
like percent of people love him or hate him. But
Right.
yeah, I think a lot of it, people sort of, it does cast a shadow here. But like you'll see in the news here, he's in it quite a bit, especially online too. Like in Australian news, Donald Trump's done this, Donald Trump's done that. So, but yeah, it's sort of like, yeah, people are like, man, who cares? Why we got our own leaders?
Yeah. I mean, a thing that we often hear here in America is we're an embarrassment to the world, in particular because Donald Trump is our president. I've been around quite a bit, and I don't ever find that. What I find the norm is, and I've had my own experiences, a lot of other experiences, but it's that when we have a strong leader, people take notice. When we have a soft leader, people take advantage. That would be the way I say it, right? And so, does that mean the leader's good or bad? I don't know, but I just know, like, oh, you have this president, yeah, he's going to get taken advantage of,
Yeah, I think that's definitely true.
Yeah. Is it actually true, or is that a perception?
Maybe it's a perception.
Okay.
But like I when I look at it, I say, like the last president. From my point of view, I'd be like, nah, he's going to get pushed around by Biden. And then when you see Trump, for our perception here, it's like, people aren't going to mess with him.
Yeah, I mean, I get why people think Donald Trump is terrible, right? And because he does a lot of things, he's boorish and all the other things that he does. And so I can get why people are like, I'm embarrassed. But I also would think that people would think, yeah, man, America has a demented man as president. Yeah. That's also pretty embarrassing. We managed to pick someone who couldn't give a State of the Union address and was struggling to walk around stage properly, right? So this is more political, at least in America, than it is policy or the nature of the man. I think both of the last two presidents have deep flaws, But if you say that here, oh boy, you're going to get in trouble because the other side is compelled to love their guy. And that's always the case. But in America, a lot of us, I would say almost half of us, are neither. And so maybe we color a little red or we color a little blue, but most of us are like, hey, it's crazy to have a demented guy as president. Hey, it's crazy to have Donald Trump as president. But the extremes can't see that. They can't play ball at all. Do you guys have a similar paradigm where it's kind of like the middle third and then the crazies on the outside?
Yeah, but it's not as like, how you're saying there, you got, people red and blue. From what I see on the news and stuff, like people are real passionate, like I said, in America. Like you couldn't just say, Donald Trump shit to someone who supports him because you're going to clash and it'd be a fight. Like why that's because the people are so passionate. Here, you could be like, oh yeah, I vote for this guy, and then someone else could say, oh, he's a dickhead, and
Right.
it's like, yeah, who cares? And like that, we're not like we don't.
Right.
I guess as passionate,
Uh-huh.
but I'm not as passionate about it. Yeah, there's not as such strong support that I think Australians get so emotional or wound up over the politics here. Like,
we as a nation, and again, I'm painting with a national brush here, so please don't take this personal, because it probably doesn't apply to you. But we get awful precious with how important we are on the world stage, right? I mean, I would say for the security, okay, maybe like we help you guys defend your guys' hunk of the hemisphere that you're in. But so does Canada, so does England. We have partners. Okay, so set that aside. You guys are pretty self-sufficient over there.
Yeah,
but we tend to think that how we do things, we cast this bigger shadow than we probably do, because Australia's been around for a long time. You guys don't need an influx of, look, it's nice to have business with the United States, right? That's certainly part of what you guys do, but also China and also Indonesia and all these other places that are your neighbors. When America does well, when the US does well, does that impact Australia in a positive way, do you think, or are you guys pretty insulated from all of
that? I think, we're insulated, but no, it's not good for the Australian dollar when the US dollar's up, like a lot of things. But for the most part, we're pretty, from all the resources we got, I don't think it affects us too much.
Right.
But the stock market might change a little bit, but.
Mm-hmm.
Especially like Donald Trump says something, like people will go and buy certain shares, and but I've never seen that before. So that's a pretty new thing.
If you could change, like, let's say you got a chance to sit down and you have Donald Trump on your show, and everybody, like, this is a real thing, like this really could happen. If Thomas chose to approach it and said, I'm going to book me some Donald Trump, there's a real chance it can happen, right? Because he says yes to crazy shit like this. What would the journey be? How would you, if you got him for, like, let's say 20 minutes, short show, but you get the boss, what would you want to cover with him?
I'd want to cover what his ambitions is, where he sees America going in the next 20 years, not just the next, throughout his term, like what he thinks the end game should be.
And
sorry, you go.
Go ahead. You go.
I'd pick his brain about business and how he's. I think he's the ultimate marketer. Like a lot of his, I think he trolls a lot, and he knows how to really get people going.
He definitely does that.
both sides. I think it's a brilliant marketing technique.
Oh man, he just did his State of the Union, and there was a whole lot of professional wrestler, and stand there with his chin in the air as he said things, and pose. And I'm like, oh my God, the theater in this man. But he got that crowd whipped into a frenzy. He was a true showman. And whether or not you like him, he put on a hell of a show, and he did it on purpose. He let you know he was doing it on purpose. He put people in a pickle. He got him to crack. And I'm big on this, on affect over effect. He got that. He affected it and got people emotional about what he was doing. If you hate him, that's not going to change. But if you're somewhere in the middle, you were compelled to make some kind of decision on, man, there's a lot of good stuff in there. I'm going to be mad at him. Like, it's hard to have that dissonant thing. And that's what I thought he communicated, was whether or not you believe in his approach, he gets people to choose a side. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I think he's a master of that.
Yeah. If he could not purposely sabotage his own success. We had this guy, he's a very famous director here, Rob Reiner, was murdered by his kid, and he murdered his mom too at the same time. And instead of just letting that be a horrible thing, Donald Trump took a swipe. It's like, dude, why? Like, first off, you're a leader. Don't say shit like that. Second, you should be a human. Don't say shit like that. But
I didn't say that.
Let it be. And it undermines the successes that he might potentially achieve, because how do you trust a man that has that bad a judgment, right? And this is
Yeah.
like the thing with him.
Yeah, it's up and down.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, Being honest here, I have no idea who the PM of Australia is. I can look it up and act like I know, but I don't know. Now, on occasion, I am aware of it, right? But even if
Yeah.
I know the name, uh, I know fuck all about what your guys's political climate is, what that person, if they were good or bad. I would just be bound to whatever I read, because, like most countries, I just don't pay that much attention to other countries, right? And
Yeah.
so, does it matter to you day to day who the prime minister is and how they're doing?
Um, to me, not really.
Okay,
To be honest, because I feel like the industry that I'm in, like the ports and mining
right,
is pretty safe with whoever's in charge, because they want it to
yeah,
keep running. But
right,
yeah, I do see it does affect like the rest of the country who's in charge. Like the
right,
cost of
okay,
living goes crazy when certain might be liberals are in charge,
sure,
or yeah, and then you got Labor, and then
yeah,
yeah, you got the other smaller parties, like you got your like One Nation. They'd be like your sort of, like, people compare them to like Donald Trump, and then you got like your Greens, who are all about the environment, and so I'm not sure if he's got the same sort of parties over there.
yeah, yeah. We have two parties, but they coalesce, so they're like little like subgroups
Yeah,
in there. So we for sure have our Greens, and they pull the party in a certain direction, and we have our financial people who kind of cross parties, and they have their goals, and so yeah, they kind of crack into their groups and kind of make this mosaic on both sides. But a lot of them are the same; they just have a different mindset, and yeah, yeah. And so we get really precious with, if our side wins, things are going to be better. And here's like, I'm in the middle, so I
yeah,
just want someone to do a good job. And if your
yeah,
version of a good job is ABC 1 2 3, hey, have at it. Right? Like, just
yeah,
thanks for doing the work, because I don't have to do it. I'm not going to worry about it. It's your ball. You wanted it. Go do great things. And then if the other guy's like, no, it's pumpkin, chartreuse, Jeep, left-handed, up, down. That's your path to get to the result that's good. Man, please, by all means, go. I don't have to be comfortable with it. Just please be excellent at your work. Unfortunately,
yeah,
it never works like that. It's always this mix of influence and subterfuge and bullshit that
yeah,
they can never, even if their plan would work, they can never get near their plan enough to. You have to be relevant, and that battle for relevance becomes all consuming here in America, I think. And
yeah,
so the person who maybe would be the great person is, it's more like, we can vote anybody out at any time. We don't need term limits, but goddamn, we want everybody else to vote their guy out, not our guy. Hey, that's my guy, right? We love our
yeah,
guy, whether or not they suck doesn't matter.
yeah, yeah. Everyone has their preference. They got,
Sure.
and they're passionate about it. But
Yeah.
yeah, here is a lot different. But I do see it. Like, I feel like we see a lot more American news than Australian news. When I open my phone, we're like, news.com.au.
Yeah.
So what's going on in our country? It's just all you see is like the headlines is Donald Trump. The next one will be like
Yeah.
Epstein, and I was,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, constant.
So I'm glad we took that journey, and I'm glad to talk more about the contrast between the U.S. and Australia and Canada and England and all these places, because we're all similar, right? Like, we're kind
Yeah,
of like the Greens and the financial and we have our little sub things, and we make this mosaic that seems to work.
yeah,
But you and I get to laser in on people's lives in real time.
yeah,
Both of us know Tim. We both know Hal. These guys were
yeah,
drug smugglers, like, of the
yeah,
first order, and they've lived these dramatically different lives. And so we get to see the world from the ground truth level. How has
yeah.
that changed how you see the world?
I think it's made me, I guess, more open to people do change as well. I just
Okay.
think, well, once someone's doing something that's them, they're criminals, but I've talked to a few guys who have turned their lives around, and it's like,
Yeah.
people can change. And I've learned, more different backgrounds, different. Like, one question I've always asked every single person is what advice they would give to someone starting out or themselves, like 20 years ago or 10 years ago, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
And I just find everyone's got their own little unique view from the world. So
Yeah.
I'm sort of more appreciative of learning of different people. Like, everyone's got something else they can teach. But yeah, so it's a lot of crazy stories.
It's a lot of crazy stories, and people do get redeemed. We tend to, again, I'm painting with a gigantic brush here, but we tend to throw people away and be like, well, that's it for that person. But then they have to go on and do something. They have to continue their lives. Hal rebuilds his life, becomes this man who takes care of people who no one else will take care of, and it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful transition. And I know you've seen that over and over. You've had people on your show that have killed people on purpose, illegally, right? I mean, I have to.
Yeah.
And then they seem to find a way to fashion a new life.
Yeah. Sometimes it blows my mind, like some of the stuff people have done. I'm like, even outside. But I don't know. They've somehow got out of it and turned their life around, and but it's pretty wild, some of the stories, and
it's it's easy to judge folks, right? And we all judge people, but I have learned to be at my best less judgmental. Even more so when I thought I wasn't judgmental, I found new levels of just. This is the phrase I use. Maybe it'll make sense to you, maybe it won't. But I just let folks be folks, and I let them be folks where they're at, right? So it's like, you go do you, right? Whatever. But also, like, if you are here and I am here, you still get to be folks there, and so you can say that person's a racist. Like, look, I'm going to let them live their life. What they do doesn't impact me for the most part. And if I mind my own shop and they mind their own shop, at least we're both minding our own shops, right? And so I try not to put things like racism, or I would never say, oh, Thomas Berryman should be embarrassed. I would never cast embarrassment on you at my best. I'm sure I fail at this and that I get judgy and you should be embarrassed. For shame, Thomas, for shame. I'm guilty of that too, right? Like everybody else. But I think partly because of my show, and I've seen what can happen and how a person has to go on a journey, even if it's hard. There's a dude here in America. He was a cop. He got rear-ended by a guy having a seizure and at like 100 miles an hour. And he basically burned to death. He had 4th-degree burns. He might have had 5th-degree burns. And when the fire department pulled him out, they thought it was going to be a recovery, not a rescue. But he survived. He's still alive. And he's like this amazing man because he got a second chance at life and had to go through hell to get it. And what a wonderful person. And so when people go on these journeys, they're like superheroes because they've been through adversity that we can't even imagine, whether it was self-caused or not. But they have a different approach to the world.
Yes, some of the success stories and comebacks from such adversity is incredible. I love hearing them and seeing how they navigated through it and what they did. And some people are just like, a lot of people would have given up, and you see that they've just found a way to keep going. So it reminds me of Jurassic Park. It's the quote, life will find a way. So it just keeps going.
Yeah.
But
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, there's a few amazing people I've had on, with stories, and you're like, how did you even survive? Or, I wouldn't have been able to get through that. They've just pushed through.
Yeah, I don't know if the gardeners are coming through in my end. So if you hear the gardeners, everybody, I apologize. That normally this time of day when I hear it. Who cares? Okay, so when you see these stories, you see these lessons, do you do anything to capture this? Does it inform, like when you do other kind of creative work, whether you're writing or doing something else, does your show inform your day-to-day life?
Uh, yeah, sometimes I'll use little bits of advice. Someone when they started, like they took business advice, even, or even if they've got music advice, it may not apply directly to my work or my life, but I'll find a way to use it. Like I'll apply it in a different way.
Okay.
So, and then I
Yeah.
try and I've got a little project I've been working on. It's taken a long time, but I sort of ask everyone for their advice. It's going to be 120 different people from around the world, and I'm going
Yeah.
to condense it into one video advice from 120 different people of
Yeah.
all different backgrounds, and that's going to be all edited into one video with everyone I've ever interviewed.
That's crazy.
And yeah, but I use a lot of the advice I find of people, and sometimes I find, if I find myself in a situation where I'm like, man, I can deal with this, someone unpleasant or whatever it may be. I'm like, yeah, I remember such and such told me about a situation they're in. This is what I'm going to do, and I'll just do it in a different way. And especially writing, I want to write, so I'll ask, writers advice, and then I'll sort of go back to the interview after when I'm editing it, and I'll actually take notes and put that into a little file.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. We get to collect wisdom.
Yeah.
And advice, which is based out of wisdom, and all of a sudden you're at a party and someone will say something, and I know you said this. Oh, I had a guy on my show. This is what he said. So I'm not sure if you say those exact words, but probably those exact words. And then you have this really profound thing to say, and people are like, "Who the fuck is Thomas?" all this incredible wisdom. It's amazing.
Yeah. I get people excited when they talk to me, and they're like, "Oh, what was such and such like?" Or, what did you think of this? Or, you really need to talk to this guy. I was like, no, I already have. And you haven't seen it. But...
Yeah. Yeah. When you started this thing, you didn't know you'd get to where you are. I mean, even just getting to 100 episodes is remarkable. It's a 1% success, right? So when you got to a spot, when did you get to the spot where you're like, oh, I can actually continue to do this? I'm good at this. I'm going to keep going. When did you realize that there was a future for you and that you weren't worried about, will I make it to 6 episodes? When did you figure that out?
Probably around, I'd say, to be honest, it took a long time. I would say about 50 episodes in or more.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was actually doing, I think it might have been when I was talking with the DOC, and then after someone else had told me, hey, that was really good, you should, don't just stop doing what you're doing. And I was like, oh, well, I was actually thinking about stopping. And then a few people at the same time said the same thing, and I was just like, yeah, okay, maybe this is something I'll keep going with. And like the feedback I was getting off a couple other people were like, man, I don't know how your thing's not bigger, the guests you've had, and that was a real good episode.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, yeah, well, yeah, I'll keep going. And then I started enjoying it again.
Yeah, I was going to ask if you've been through a burnout phase, right? Because you have to go through those, and then I don't know how you approach this, but when I feel a burnout coming, I just do a couple things. One is I back off. I just slow down. I don't stop. I slow down. And I'm like, let me just find what's interesting to me, right? And I've learned how to patch over burnout phases by just like, I get to talk to the most amazing people. Yeah. Why would I want to stop? And so there's other aspects that I don't want to do with the show at times. And those things for sure go fallow. And I have to either employ someone or I have to just cut it off and go, I don't do that with my show. And the dead weight comes off. And so like, I do these live. And then I for the most part, like 95% of the time, I don't mess with the show again, ever. Now, I just published one last night that I had to spend a lot of time on editing the sound because it had a little bit of a technology glitch in it. But I hated every second of it. Like, I don't like to edit. And so I just don't do it. And as if we sat down at a bar and popped a couple of beers and had a conversation, we do this, And so I've just cut all the extra stuff off that doesn't matter. Like, did we start at 8 a.m. my time? No. Does it matter?
Yeah,
Fuck no.
like,
Like it only matters to me because I say it matters. And if all of a sudden, if I say it doesn't matter, well, I'm not burning that piece of my burnout candle off. Like it just, it's useful energy that I can put into something else that I think does matter. Does any of that resonate with you at all?
Yeah, definitely. I had recently, like you're saying, a burnout phase, and I didn't do anything for a while, and people ask me, are you going to do another interview soon? You haven't done any videos. What's going on?
Yeah.
Like, is everything all good? I was like, yeah, everything's all good. I just need a break because, I'd be up at 2 a.m, 3 a.m every morning, but I'm up at 2:30 in the morning normally.
Yeah.
Like 2:30, and then I'd have 3 days off maybe, and then those 3 days are just staying up all night again doing interviews, and I just got tired. But now I'm excited about it again, so I've just started doing it again. I probably only stopped for a month or two, and then now it's like, I want to keep going with it.
Yeah.
So I just had that break, and I think that's what I needed, just a little rest. And now I'm excited again.
It's we're forever tinkering with these shows, trying to figure out what to do. More of this, less of that, more of this. And if I hear myself complaining about some aspect of it, I now know. And look, it's taken me thousands of shows to get to the spot, but I'm like, oh, maybe this doesn't matter. Like, why do I care so much about this? Like, okay, my show should be bigger. I get my friend, you had the best person on the show. Yeah, that's true. And yes, it should be bigger, but I don't control that. And so I worry less about how the show performs in terms of numbers, because it's been up, it's been down, it does what it does. And I try my best to go, I don't care. Right. And so I invest my time and effort where I think I can get a return. And then I look back at my show and I go, yeah, it's working. It's not pretty. It's not ideal, but it's working. And so I just continue to and I do less grinding and more polishing now. How do I improve this one thing? How do I put effort here? How do I put money here? And I'm fine tuning more now than the whole like course adjustments where it's big dial turns. But I've been at it for a long time. And so when my friends come up to me, there's a couple things I say. And if you're my friend, I'm not talking about you. I'm just talking in general. Okay, so they'll say, hey, your show should be better. I'm like, my show's marvelous. It does amazing things. I get to talk to these incredible people and have all these incredible experiences. It's an opportunity machine. It's a networking machine. And I defy anybody to have a better one because it's incredible, And so I don't control if people show up and find the thing. I don't care about that because it's not something that I can change. I can be desperate for it. I can put SEO words and tags, and I can do all of the things and create all this other work to not reliably get people to watch it more. And it's not because I suck. Okay, and I admit, I suck. I got it, everybody. I suck. Okay. But if I didn't suck, it still wouldn't matter because the machine is only going to let so much stuff through to be seen. And and I don't know about your show, but when I look at my show, in particular on YouTube, I'll see something go up straight up. And I'm like, oh, that went great. But why at 1 a.m? Why at 1 a.m. did this show take off? That makes no sense. Oh, wait, that's when the gate opened. And and then all of a sudden it goes, dead. And so I hockey stick in the wrong direction. And I'm like, why did it shut off right here? Well, that's not up to me. And there's no numbers or words I can put in there. And believe me, I've tried to figure that out. How do I do that? I can see the show, like the heartbeat of the show, it just goes on, right? And all of a sudden, poof, it'll crash. I didn't change. I'm still doing the same things. I'm always improving. But and again, we're talking YouTube specifically. But then it'll just go, and I'll be struggling to get anybody to pay attention. And now I've got to divine what the code is. What have I done wrong? What do I need to change? Whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then here's the conundrum, everybody. That sounds like a bunch of nonsense. Now do it on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, all these other channels, and you won't find, unless they're super famous, you won't find anybody that kills on all platforms.
No. They won't.
So it's crazy. Sorry, I went off on a
Yeah.
little bit there, but I had to explain that a little.
No, that's really like you said. Like, yeah, some people could be huge on, YouTube, and then you see they're like small on something else, and no one's killing it on all platforms. Like that's
Yeah.
definitely a thing. And yeah, I've had the same thing, and I'm like, why did this take off? Like this thing just went crazy, and then
Right.
just dies, or it's I can't work it out. And I've got some videos that are just consistently growing over time, and at the time I thought, oh, this is like my worst work, and then I don't know, I can't work it out, and I was like, well, people love this.
I had this I have a presence on TikTok. Hey, everybody on TikTok. And I put good content up. Like you. I've had the DOC on my show. It's awesome. You and I, but like all you got to do is shut up and let that guy talk. And I've said stuff for years now, based upon our conversation that we had together. None of that makes a fucking bit of difference on TikTok. Not a bit. The thing that has gone viral for me, and viral in terms of what Pete's capable of doing, is I've always had this jingle in my head, like that Mr. Lover Lover, that Shaggy song.
Yeah.
Well, when I see Ginkgo biloba, Ginkgo biloba, boom, boom. So I did a little short, super fast, less than 10-minute like little thing, and I put a video up. And that thing, only because of Shaggy, I believe, it did really well for me because I used a Shaggy song, and it's like I don't even know if people got the joke that Ginkgo biloba, and how that kind of sounds like Shaggy would say it. I don't think anybody even got that part of the joke. They just like Shaggy.
Yeah.
And so that after all the work, all the hours, all the interviews, all the posting, and my account just sits there and doesn't grow reliably day to day, right? And I get it. Pete, you suck. I get it. So I don't worry about that shit, man.
Yeah, well, I don't think you suck. I've been watching you. Yeah, I've been watching you, like, even when I'm at work, just work on the computer. I'll have the sound going. I may not be watching, but I'm listening.
Right. Well, I appreciate that. And when I say that, it's because people start with, oh, that's because you suck, right? It's like, well, what if you don't suck? And you just, there's only so much bandwidth that goes around. And I'm not able, for whatever reason, to get it. It's not because I suck. It's because the shit is hard. It's hard to do what you do, to put the body of work that you've put together on your show. It's impossible to do that. And you don't show any signs of stopping. That's amazing.
Yeah. I was just thinking about it before this, actually, like all the different stuff we've got going on. So, I don't know, get so many interviews out. I can't even remember doing some of these because, there'd be one at 2 a.m, and then I'll finish that, and I'll do one at 3 a.m, then 4 a.m. And it's funny, sometimes I feel like there'll be weeks like I'm not going to get anyone. No one's going to want to do this. I'll get into that mindset, like no one's responding to me, and all of a sudden I'll get like 10 responses at once. Like, and everyone's available on the same day. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
But it'll go from having no one to just too many people. It's when that does happen, it's a good feeling because you're like, oh well, it wasn't just me. I don't know, whatever. For some reason, they just weren't responding before, or
One of the things that happens if you are prolific, like you are, like I am, people kind of fade in and out. Like folks from I'll call it the old media will say, "Well, tell me about your audience." I'm like, "It's me. It's me. Anything I like, I do, and if I don't like it, I don't do it." And I don't worry about what the audience says or does because I'm not in charge of them. When we look at that is an approach, and it works in a lot of cases. I don't know that it works in our case because I would get sick of hearing me talk every day for an hour every day. Sometimes, like today, 3 hours today. I'm going to have 3 hours of shows on today. At some point, it's like, I heard enough of people. Now, some people are going to love everything I say. That happens, and there certainly are those people, and they're wonderful. But a lot of the people that are my biggest supporters barely listen to the show. But they've said to me, Pete, I love what you're doing. I'm just going to put money into your account every month, via PayPal, whatever it is, and just keep going. Don't stop. It's special. And then I'll see him like, oh yeah, I listened to a show recently, and it's a show from a year ago. And I'm like, you don't listen very much, and it's fine. I don't care. But
Yeah.
like, yeah, I don't need to hear you every day. I know you're out
Yeah.
there doing it. I see you working, and I don't mind giving you $10, $20, $50, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And it's remarkable that you can be so successful that the people that who you never knew in your life love you so much. They want to see you succeed that they'll break off a $10 bill and put it in front of you every month and say, keep going, right? And that might not
Yeah,
seem
that's
like
pretty cool.
anything, but it's amazing. Yeah. And when I talk to those guys, and they don't even need to talk, they're like, you don't gotta call me all I've done all this stuff. Hey, how are you? It's Pete. And you're like, yeah, Pete, I know, man. You don't gotta call me every time. You don't look, when we get together, and it's always wonderful. You don't gotta try this hard. It's fine. I don't mind. The money I have money, I don't have time. That's
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay, all right. And so I've learned how to be a good guest to the people that love my show. And a lot of people love my show from my hometown. They love it, but they're not interested in giving me $5 or $10. But I can't buy a meal in town because that's how they celebrate what I do. And I don't know how if you figured any of this out yet at all or figured something else out, but I know that the people in my town that I love that are from there, the place that we love, all these things, we all agree that my show is great. But how they celebrate that and how they compensate for that is not just money.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think that means a lot too. Just support from people,
Yeah.
and yeah, I think that's that's a nice. That's real cool. I love
It
that.
is. It
And
didn't start there. I had to figure that out.
yeah, okay.
I used to get my feelings hurt quite a lot. I'm like, man, why don't they care? But they did
Yeah,
care. I just didn't know how to see it. I didn't know how to respond to it. I didn't know how to value it. And that was
yeah,
all my shit that I had to figure out.
yeah. I was sort of. I tried to hide it from everyone for a while, and I was like, "That's I'm just sticking to Americans on the show."
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Why do you think that is? Why did you need to hide it? Like, what were you hiding?
um, I don't know. I was Now I think about it, it was just I don't know. I didn't want people to just not judge it, or I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess I didn't feel comfortable. I've never sort of been a public person before.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
then now I don't care. I'm just like,
Yeah.
you cool, watch it. But I always have a theme. Like I'll never do. All my videos are real positive. I don't.
Okay.
I never try and get clickbait or get someone to talk bad on someone else.
Sure.
Because
Sure.
I'll get some people like, "Oh, I've got a beef for such and such. Can you put me on your show?" I want to say, I was like, "Nah, that's not my brand."
Yeah. Yeah.
Some
Yeah.
people even say to me, if you do like a viral title or a thumbnail,
Yeah.
like to try and rage bait or clickbait, you'll blow up. I'm like, nah, it's not my
Right.
brand. I'm
Yeah.
not doing
Yeah.
it.
Absolutely. There was an era with algorithms, at least on YouTube, where if you put the word Trump in the title, it would go crazy. The show would just get consumed. They just pushed that stuff to the front because it
Yeah.
drove a lot of revenue, I'm assuming. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that isn't the case anymore. So I don't even bother putting that word in the title if it doesn't belong there, But it's simple decisions like that that compromise the integrity of what it is that you're doing. Like, I'm going to put
Yeah.
Trump in there just to get spins. Okay, that's a viable reason to do it. But for me,
Yeah.
it's not genuine to what I'm doing. Now, if he's relevant to the conversation, by all means, like put it in there, right? And so
Yeah.
I think we see the world in the same kind of way. Like, I asked you, what should we title this thing? You said BerrymanTV. That's what I want people
Yeah.
to search. Okay, great. There it is, right? We did that. Instead of saying, Berryman discusses Trump and says he's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Such bullshit. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm happy with whatever. But
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
true. Like I'll try and keep it always the same sort of brand. Or if I have had people going, "Hey, yeah, I can really fix this for you if
Mhm.
you just need to do this." And I'm like, nah, I don't know. I don't know why. I just can't do it to myself.
I have
Uh,
a bit of advice for you, and this is a thing I've learned.
yeah.
When your friends come up to you and say, "You know what you need to do," what do your friends call you? Like, what's the nickname that they call you?
got a few. I got TB, Tommy Gun,
Yeah.
or
Yeah. Okay.
Berryman.
Tommy Gun. Hey, Tommy Gun. I know what you need to do with your show. And then whatever they say, or even before they get to say it, so you know what? I'm pretty good at this show thing.
Yeah.
If you want to help me, here's how you help me. You put 10 pounds, $10, 10, whatever it's going to be. You guys are dollars, right? So $10 Australian. You put $10 in my account each month. That will make a difference. That will allow me to do something else to improve. I know where the show needs improving. And you watch and they go, oh, you don't want my unsolicited advice. And they're like, yeah, but if you want to know where to help, I can tell you where to help. Cash. And then they get different about it. And I'm like, it's all right. You don't have to give me any money. But my plate is full. I know how to run my show. I know where I need resources. And the best way you can help me is, with some money. And if you don't want to do it, don't. And there's not going to be any hard feelings. And then all of a sudden they stop giving you advice. They're like, Pete knows what he's doing. And it lended a credibility to what I did. Like, hey, are you still doing that show thing? Yeah, every day. It's my profession. Wait, it's your profession? I thought it was your hobby. Like they thought it was my hobby. And I'm like, no, this is how I drive revenue. This is what I do. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah. And then they want to try to help. And I'm like, here's how you help. I need money more than anything else. That's the thing I don't have enough of. And they're like, oh, and then they say whatever they say and you go on from there. But because my plate is full and I'm positive your plate is full. And so to buy space on my plate, to give me something to do, that costs money. And I'm still not going to do what you say because I'm a professional at this.
Yeah.
And that has changed my relationship with my show and with the people that want to give me advice. And I love the advice offers. But before they get to give me advice, like, are you giving me advice because you think you know what's better and you've been in this business? Or because even people who are in show business or in some kind of entertainment, they're like, well, why don't you sell ads? Because then I become an ad salesman, not a person who creates content. And I've got to go out and that's a different proposition. That's an old way of doing business. It still works, but it doesn't work in this case. How did I do?
Yeah, that's perfect. Like, because sometimes I'll be watching something like, you just mentioned the ads, and it'd be someone who I've been following for like forever, and now all of a sudden they got ads on their show. I'm just like, see ya.
Yeah.
And I don't know, just the way they're trying to sell it. I'm like, it's not genuine. Like, I know you, and I know you don't give a shit about that. But I don't know, maybe like, but then I also don't want to bag them, like, good on them for getting some money and doing it. But I don't know, I'll just try to keep the integrity like you're doing.
Yeah, and it's okay to get ads, right? It's fine.
Yeah.
But if I get an ad with somebody, I believe in them. It's a relationship. I'm not just selling Clorox bleach. I'm not just selling Australian salt or whatever. Like, it's the person who runs that business. I want them to do well. And I'm not sure if I can help them. And so I'll say, I don't know if I can help you. I'm glad to try, but let's not break the bank doing it. Let's do it for 3 months and see if we like it. And if we don't, then let's stop, because it's hard to know. It's hard to know what the audience is going to do. Can I compel anybody to go to your show? Yeah, I can do that. Can I do it enough to ask you for money? I don't think so. I don't think so. I can expose you to things and we see what happens, but that's not worth very much money to you. And obviously we've not exchanged any money to have you. But what I can create is an opportunity for someone to go, hey, Thomas Berryman TV. Yeah, I love that dude. And all of a sudden they're Tommy Gun fans.
Yeah.
That's what I can create.
That's what I like. I like that sort of style. I feel like it's more of a like grassroots type.
Yeah.
I don't know. I love that.
Me too. There's a genuineness that I'm comfortable with. I'll take someone's money and I'll work my heart out for it, but I won't take everyone's money because I'm going to work my heart out for it. And so even if an ad campaign, let's say, fails, it just doesn't work for us, I put my heart into it though, And so if that's valuable to somebody, then sure, let's talk about that. But then I look at, if you're going to give me $25 in ad read and I'm going to do 10 episodes for you, that's $250. Well, you're going to get my heart, but you're getting $250 worth of my heart. And that's a different number. And so all of a sudden you're like, why am I working that hard for $250? I could put that energy into some other aspect of my professional life and probably get more than $250 in return.
Yeah. That's
how
true.
I see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
What else you want
It's
to
a good
cover,
way.
man? You want to ask me anything?
Yeah. I don't know if yeah, I've got heaps of questions for you, but I don't know if I want to wait and do a part two. So like I'll interview you on my show, or I don't know.
Sure. Yeah, yeah, we can do that.
I've been thinking of like heaps of stuff to ask you, so I want to
Yeah.
book a time with you to.
Yeah, well, we can do that for sure. Anything else you want to cover here, though? I mean, obviously, look, everybody go check out Thomas Berryman TV. Right there's the link down below. Ding, ding, ding. That's how you help. That's how you help, you guys. Go subscribe. Check out the show. If you don't like it, watch a few hours of it and see if you don't like it. It's got great stuff. You got the DOC. He's got this cool show with the Hitman. All kinds of stuff there. Just go to YouTube and just type in Thomas Berryman TV or just Berryman TV. You will find it. It's not hard. These things are pretty simple. With that said, everybody go check that out and look around you. Look for the creators around you. If TB and I aren't your cup of tea, great. But find someone who's your cup of tea and stuff a couple of bucks in their pocket because that's going to help. If it's an artist, hey, buy their art. Man, it's $150. Okay, you like just do it, consume it, give it to somebody else as a gift. I got you a really nice gift. It's a piece of art. I liked it. I bought it. It's a local artist. I supported that guy. That is a difference maker. Rather than buying something that we don't need, this is a chance to support someone who's doing something incredible. All right, there's my pitch about supporting local artists. Anything you want to say in closing?
Yeah, definitely. I want to say, like you said, support local artists, and if you like something, even online, like they may not, if there's no one local, support the small guys and people having a go instead of going to the big. Like nothing wrong going to the big corporations, but just try and think of the little guys.
Yeah.
Always try and help out small businesses and people starting up, and just remember where you came from.
It's awesome. I've got another show coming up in about an hour, everybody. So you're going to get more of me today. Sorry. And I think you guys will enjoy that show. Obviously, you enjoyed what TB and I were talking about because it's interesting. But look, yeah, subscribe to Thomas's show, subscribe to mine, and then we'll see you on the other side. And if you want to do something on the show with me, you want to produce an episode, you want to be on the show, just email me, pete@breakitdownshow.com. I'm going to try to say yes because I produce things. And if you want to produce something, I want you to try. I want you to do it, and I'll help you figure it out. If your uncle is so-and-so or your auntie is so-and-so and you want to bring them up, even if they're not famous, even if you just think they deserve some shine, let me know. I probably will say yes. And don't borrow no from me because I'm telling you to ask. So get on the email, hit me up, let me know. We'll figure something out. I'm not going to charge you money for it. If anything, I'll say, yes, let's do it. Great idea. Let's celebrate this person in your life. I want to use my show to help other people do whatever it is they want to do. You don't need to have a podcast. Just come see me. All right, there's my pitch. All right. Anything before I really close this thing up? TB, thank you very much for coming on the show.
Thank you very much for having me. And yeah, it's been a pleasure. Everyone check out, Pete A. Turner. I love what you do, man. And yeah, I really appreciate you having me on and your time. I know you're busy, so it's
you
really
are too.
appreciate it. Yeah.
All right, thank you, sir. I'll be right back to say goodbye to you. Everybody else, see you in about an hour.